Welcome to 880 Wrestling's Painted Black, Painted Gold, #1 contendership for the TNF Championship Battle Royal. At 8 o'clock tonight, it is the official start of Painted Black. For those folks watching at home, all you have to do is subscribe at IndyWrestling.us to see everything tonight. But these people here are ready to go right now. The winner of this Battle Royal will have an opportunity to fight the TNF champion this Thursday at 8 p.m. right here at the warehouse. Introducing the entrants. Shotgun Adams, CJ Monroe, Los Codios and El Luca, Jazz D'Amato and Keith Hop, Moist, Gunnar Bergman, Jazz, Elijah Love, Andy Ripley, Irv West, Creeps, Johnny Demise, Bohemian, Death Watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the buy-in for Painted Black 2. It is me, Eamon Payne, alongside professional Paul Michaels. And Paul, what a stunning card we have in store for Painted Black 2, but a great way to kick off the action with this Painted Gold Battle Royal.
That's right, Eamon. We are less than 15 minutes away from Painted Black 2 on IndyWrestling.live or for ringside members of our YouTube channel at IndyWrestling.us. You'll be able to see all the great action, but this ring is loaded with participants who want a TNF championship match this coming Thursday at the warehouse on Thursday Night Fights.
And we are underway. The battle ensues. Chaos is sure to be amok in this ring. I got to imagine one of the favorites in this matchup, you got to think, the woman who announced this contest in the first place, that being the former TNF champion, Liberty Out.
I think it's a mixed bag, Eamon, because I think the moment that Liberty announced this matchup, she did kind of put a little bit of a target on her back. So I think, you know, if everything were even keel, I would have to agree with you, but I feel like there might be some people looking to kind of take advantage of that. Maybe that numbers game might not come out to favor Liberty here tonight. We'll have to see.
Undoubtedly, but you got to think, Liberty incredibly determined going into this contest after losing the TNF championship back in January at Kings of the Cold to Marco Narciso, who we'll see later tonight on the main card. And Marco Narciso has made it clear as the TNF champion, as he calls himself, that there's no one on the 880 roster that can truly step to him in that ring. I think there's a lot of competitors right now that are looking to prove that otherwise.
Great to see Andy Ripley back here in 880 Wrestling.
Kind of trying to psych each other up, Andy and Irv West as the Creeps. As now, we also see Moist aiding Keith Hott here. A lot of different factors in this contest, a lot of teams as well. Death Watch, Bohemians, and Johnny Demise. You got some Dead Hand Society representation. You've got Most Dope Masked Aliens, MDMA in there as well. A lot of people with a lot to prove. Speaking of Dead Hand Society, as we see Gunnar Bergman working on Brohemoth. Big night for Dead Hand, including in our main event, a historic matchup. First ever steel cage match in 880 wrestling history. Nick Wilde defending the 880 championship against Brandon St. James.
You can't talk about DHS without talking about its trigger finger. Tonight we will have the first ever steel cage match in 880 history. It is Nick Wilde versus Brandon St. James. and that is available tonight at Paint It Black 2, IndyWrestling.live, or become a ringside member of our YouTube channel. Eamon, did you know that new members of IndyWrestling.live get a 7-day free trial?
7 days? That's a lot of days.
That's a whole week. That's more than you need to watch Paint It Black 2.
There's a whole lot of content from 880 Wrestling. As now, look at Moist now trying to get Liberty L over that turnbuckle, but to no avail. No elimination so far in this contest. I mentioned Dead Hand having a big night with the cage match. Also, as we learned on Thursday Night Fights, KC Warr will be defending the Hardcore Championship against Saturn Price. And the violence that we're going to see in that cage match might just be matched with anything with the hardcore battle that we saw back at Misconnections 4 with KC Warr and some guy named John. Ooh! Big running shoulder tackle there by Gunnar Bergman. Also mentioned Dead Hand Society. We're going to see Jazz back in competition here in 880 Wrestling. As now Irving Watts gets taken out.
And Andy Ripley out to the side as well.
Has been eliminated.
That's both members of Creeps now are out of this thing.
Irv West has been eliminated.
So they will not be heading to this Thursday's TNF.
Look at CJ Monroe here, though, trying to overcome the weight advantage. Oh, but gets clocked right in the face there by Liberty L. And a massive clothesline taking CJ off the apron. Now head scissors takedown there by Elijah Love. So much action. Elijah Love coming off a very impressive performance last night at Thursday Night Fights against Mateo Valentine, who we will also see later on tonight.
Yeah, Mateo Valentine will have an opportunity to be the TNF champion that the winner of this Battle Royal faces. As we've got four-way action tonight.
Monroe has been eliminated.
I couldn't tell, but I believe in the corner of your screen, I believe Evelyn Sage saving her partner, Mars Crest there. Oh, but Keith Hott disposing of Mars. El Luca in a dangerous position. MDMA have been really making their way up the ranks. You got to imagine a win here would be big for them. As I look at Elijah getting up Los Tornillos.
Luke back in to save his partner.
Oh, head scissor
Evelyn
takedown.
Sage and Mars Crest have been eliminated.
Oh, big scoop slam there by Tornillos. And Mickey Morris, the muscle of the Department of Jocks, who we will see later tonight in tag team action with the tag team titles, going up against Psychedelic Dreams.
Yeah, big Jim Fridge and Dev Swayze, who have singles victories over each individual member of Psychedelic Dreams. They will see if they can turn that singles success into tag team success and into tag team gold.
Oh, God, Tornillos gets chokeslammed out to the floor.
Los Tornillos has been eliminated.
And El Luca out as well. MDMA going to have to go back
El
to Doug
Luca has been eliminated.
to nurse their wounds. And now, Johnny Demise taken out onto the apron as well, and cannot hold on.
Johnny Demise has been eliminated.
Keith Hott, Jazz, Liberty L, Brohima, Tatiana, a lot of competitors that, if Marco Narciso makes it out alive tonight as TNF champion, I would be worried about. As now, Liberty comes charging off the ropes right to the back of the head of Mickey Morris. And there goes Mickey.
Mickey Morris has been eliminated.
And even I do think as the competition thins out here, it does become more advantageous for folks like Liberty L. We talked about, having a target on her back, but the number of people that can gang up on her to get her out of here is very quickly thinning out.
Oh, Elijah Love! Ooh! Gets sent into that top rope and gets disposed.
Love has been eliminated.
Out onto the floor, and look at the makings here. We got two members of Dead Hand Society. We got Team Super Catfight Side Quest in the ring. And then the two behemoths of Brohemoth and Liberty L. Chaz D'Amato going to come charging. Oh! Gets sent out onto the apron. Brohemoth trying to get Gunnar out of here. And is able
Gunnar
to.
Bergman has been eliminated.
And Chaz D'Amato also wiped out on the floor.
Chaz D'Amato has been eliminated.
Final 5 here. Who do you got here, Paul?
No, I think at this point it's hard to pick against the villainous Liberty L, someone who has been so synonymous with that TNF championship for so many months, and now is 4 eliminations away from regaining it.
Big cutter there by Liberty L, who has been on a roll. Also came just short last month at Misconnections 4.
Eliminated. We are now down to our final 4.
Liberty came that close to becoming 880 champion.
Jazz apparently is still here.
Now gonna Irish whip, reversal now. Reversal again by Tatiana. Has had her battles with Liberty L in the past. Ooh, blocks the shot, oh, big headbutt.
Tatiana has been eliminated.
That is the absolute viciousness of the villainous. It's now final 3 here. Keith Hott, ooh, maybe looking to redeem their partner Tatiana, but instead gets a choke slam for their measure.
Maybe a little temporary alliance here between Brohemoth and Liberty, trying to get Keith Hott, maybe the biggest competitor, out of the ring now. Kind of understanding you might need to do a 2-on-1 here to make that happen.
Absolutely. Now going to take Keith out onto the apron and out onto the
Keith
floor.
Hott has been eliminated.
And we are down to our final 2. And I think back to the World Series of Wrestling. Remember, these 2 collided for the TNF Championship. You got to think that is in the back of the mind of Brohemoth. Ooh, just big palm strike there, right to the jaw of Brohemoth. Both competitors trading shots, but it's going to be very difficult, Paul, to get either of these to budge.
Yeah, something's got to give here, though. Liberty now going for the elimination.
Can Liberty get Bro over that top rope. Incredibly difficult for your normal competitor, but Liberty L able to do it onto the apron. Brohemoth holding away Jazz.
And it's my understanding that Jazz was not eliminated from the Battle Royal, and instead did not go over the top rope, but rather went through the rope. So we technically do have 3 competitors here, though Jazz's attempt to take advantage of the situation and kind of get that sneaky win did not pay off here.
I think Jazz might be regretting it right now.
I think he made both of them angry.
These are the final 3.
Now Liberty clothesline, trying to take Jazz over the top. Brohemoth with the assist, and out goes Jazz.
Jazz has been eliminated.
Oh, and
for
Liberty
real this time.
trying to take advantage here. Drop kick on Brohemoth, not going to let up. Could we see an elimination here? Oh, Burrow stopping Liberty right in her tracks, up onto the shoulders. Liberty fighting desperately. Oh, wait. Liberty on the apron, but now trying to choke out Brohemoth on that top rope. Headbutt. Bro staggered. Oh, big boots. And out goes Liberty.
Liberty L is last to be eliminated, and the #1 contender for the TNF Championship come Thursday, the Gigabyte Grizzly Brohemoth.
Brohemoth disposing of a former TNF champion to finish the job. That has to be a big boost of confidence, Paul.
Absolutely, and Brohemoth just keeps having huge moments here on the 880 Wrestling buy-in shows. Last month getting engaged on this very program, and now winning the Painted Gold Battle Royal to get a TNF Championship match this Thursday on Thursday Night Fights. Liberty L certainly not pleased at that result, but we don't know who Brohemoth's opponent will be. Marco Narciso will defend that championship on our main event.
The only way you find out is by checking out the main card. Switch over to IndyWrestling.us or YouTube if you're a ringside member for the main card for Painted Black 2 in just under 2 minutes. For Paul Michaels, I'm Eamon Payton. We will see you in just a few short moments for Paint It Black 2.
We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
For the past 3 years, I have cut my teeth for 880 Wrestling, and through the good and the bad, whether they love me or they hate me, no one has been able to dictate the rise of Nick's Wilde other than Nick's Wilde.
For the past year, Nick's Wilde, you've put yourself inside of a cage that we call the Dead Hand Society, and they have been here to serve you every step of the way. But this cage does not serve you. It serves a person like me with nothing to lose. A person who isn't afraid of getting hurt, who isn't afraid of their flesh tearing.
So Brandon St. James, you want to put me in a cage. You want to have the biggest match in 880 wrestling history. Then on March 20th, inside of this steel cage, that's just fine with me. I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to figure it out.
I will do whatever it takes to win the 880 championship inside of this steel fucking cage.
April Fools! Michael Sorg's a funny guy! Ha ha! Sorg, I asked you. I picked up the phone and I called you and I asked for the best tag team. The second best tag team, because we're the best tag team to wrestle at your little show. And you do this to us?
Welcome to 880 Wrestling's Nick's Wilde Painted Black 2. Your ring announcer for this evening, our wise owl, Eamon Payton.
Give it up for Tony Tondero, everybody! I'll be your wise owl any day. I appreciate it. But folks, who's excited for Painted Black 2? We got a great card tonight here in the warehouse, including your main event for the evening. Everyone is about to witness history for 880's first ever steel cage match. And so much more. This is a fantastic card, but I can talk a lot about this card, but you know what? Let's just show you. Who's ready for some wrestling? Your opening contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall.
To my right, it's the professional Paul Michaels. I am Toddy Tondera, and welcome to Painted Black 2. These
making their way to the ring, be accompanied by Mitch. He is the alpha ally of Appalachia, Clayton King. He's sometimes called a gentrifier, but tonight he is simply your favorite wrestler, some guy named John. And they would like it to be known that they are not bitch-ass bottoms. They are gay enough to be your new gay icons of professional wrestling. This is Leaders by Example.
And Leaders by Example have promised an anti-drug future for 880 Wrestling, and the gentleman, I put that in quotes to my right, feels the same way as these two bozos.
We said, come on! I am some guy named John. This is my tag partner, Clayton King. And of course, as always, we're flanked by... I don't know, Clayton. It's Mitch with an M. Mitch! That doesn't sound right, but okay. That's not the point tonight. No, let's focus on what's important. On the count of three, guys. 1, 2, 3, drug free!
Oh, goodness.
All right, no, I get it. 880 Wrestling is in league with big marijuana. Just look at our sponsors. Places like Arnold Glass and Vape. Nobody chills harder than us.
No one does.
Well, guess what? You won't be a sponsor after tonight. After we embarrass Blizzy Blake, marijuana and marijuana accessories are banned from 880 Wrestling. So, Blizzy Blake, we beat you last night, and tonight we're going to help you beat your drug habit. So unless any of those stoned losers in the back have your back, get out here and face us in a fair fight. 1-on-2, mono a two monos. Let's do it.
Well, Paul, I came back to my station. Did you kick over my drink?
I would never do such a thing.
Gotta apologize to Mr. Sorg later.
I'm sorry, Sorg.
And the shaman of marijuana, the cannabis Casanova, makes his presence known at Painted Black 2.
Their opponents, first, fighting out of the Kush clouds of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, this is the cannabis Casanova, the shaman of smoke, Blizzy Blake.
Now we saw on Thursday Night Fights, Paul, Blizzy Blake. Wait a second, what? Now we saw on Thursday Clayton King was wearing the garb of Blizzy Blake. Thank God he's got it back. And you want to talk about flying high, look no further than the psychedelic Psychonaut making his return to 880. And here he comes!
He is the Steph Curry of 880 Wrestling and the real skater boy of this shit. This is the Psychedelic Psychonaut, Kristian Robinson!
Kristian Robinson flying high, out with the blonde locks once again. You want to talk about somebody that knows Blizzy Blake quite well. And the happenstance of these two together always makes me quite happy. What do you think of Blizzy and Kristian Robinson together?
Well, I can also see we're taking advantage of the most relevant that Afro Man has been in 24 years with the entrance music.
Oh, Afro Man just beat his lawsuit.
Exactly. But it's been quite some time since we have seen Kristian Robinson here in 880 Wrestling. Not sure what Kristian has been up to. Not sure what sort of ring rust is there. And I believe that Blizzy and Kristian have teamed up a couple times, but certainly do not have the longevity as a team that Leaders by Example offer into this matchup. And then, of course, Leaders have the clear advantage of being drug-free.
The clear advantage. You're talking about their headspace? What are you talking about? And let's be very specific. When they talk about being drug-free, they're just talking about weed, Paul.
Pre-match hug there by Leaders by Example.
Can hear what our audience knows about Leaders by Example. In our opening contest here, Blizzy Blake, Kristian Robinson versus Leaders by Example, some guy named John and Clayton King. Blizzy Blake, former 880 Tag Team Champion. Leaders by Example, former 880 Tag Team Champions. The only one in this matchup, Paul, that hasn't held gold is Kristian Robinson.
And Robinson is certainly somebody who has the talent to eventually acquire some gold here in 880 Wrestling. Of course, if you ask Leaders by Example, some of the lifestyle choices that Kristian Robinson has made may get in the way of finding that success in championship prowess.
What do you mean by lifestyle? Lifestyle choices.
I think it's very obvious what I mean by that.
Oh, you're talking about Clayton and John, their gay enough lifestyle. Is that what you're referring to?
Certainly not. I will have you know, Toddy, that in 5th grade, I won a state essay contest about why I would choose to be drug-free.
Okay, and what was in that essay?
I am so glad you asked, because I went back to my childhood home and I retrieved that essay, and I will give you just a brief excerpt from it whenever I have an opportunity.
A little puff pass into the face of some guy named John. You really have that damn paper in front of you?
I learned that the real courage is saying no when other people are saying yes.
Well, how about saying yes to this Rolling Thunder? Blizzy Blake making his mark. Oh, Clayton King even before a 1 count. So your history of saying no when others have said yes, what has that led you?
It makes me a person of my word. The commitments that I made at 11 years old still stand today.
Duck under, and the springboard effect by one Kristian Robinson. Oh, into the tag. Here comes Blizzy Blake. I don't know that Clayton King saw that tag. big spear. And look at this combination platter, Blizzy Blake. I'll bring it around town. A circus of a different flavor from Blizzy and Kristian here. Oh! And in comes some guy named John.
Very impressive tandem offense by Blizzy and Kristian, and he really had no choice but to get out of there and tag in his partner John.
Well, I mean, I think John is a little contact high from that smoke inhalation that I don't know that he's going to pass a urine test any month soon.
How long does that stuff stay in your system, Toddy? I wouldn't know.
Oh, I wouldn't know either. I mean, there's no chance I'll ever pass one, so I've never checked. 2 count there. Blizzy Blake is high as those ganja clouds, and that intern who's dressed like he's going to a funeral, like some kind of drug-free funeral he's planning tonight. Oh. 1, 2, oh, just a 1, almost a 2 count there. In comes Clayton King.
Are you implying that Mitch would get involved in this matchup, Toddy?
I'm not implying anything. I don't have to imply anything when Mitch just got involved.
I didn't see it. I was reading over my work here.
Well, birds of a similar feather. You both got your ties on tonight. Both of you have stopped at the Men's Warehouse before tonight?
Mitch does look better than me tonight. He has to stop doing that.
Not only does he suck, but he may inhale by night's end.
That's interesting. I figured this crowd would love to chant for rocks, if you catch my drift.
I'll tell you what, they've slowed the pace down. They've grounded Blizzy Blake. And some guy named John has promised a drug-free future if leaders take the W tonight. Cover. 2 count.
Effective tandem offense from Leaders by Example. Do you think they have the authority to eliminate a sponsor relationship if they win?
Who, Leaders by Example?
Yeah.
Well, of course not, I would say, but we don't know where the hell Reese Hayes is or what his current relationship is with 880 Wrestling. But if there's any gumption that I know, Reese Hayes, wherever he is, he's watching right now, so I couldn't answer that question correctly. Reese doesn't show up anymore. Cannonball into the corner, but they've really grounded Blake here. We all remember the lumberjack pillow fight between the Den of Desire and Leaders by Example with that ball and elbow 2. And who could forget the Penn Brewery brawl, whips and chains that Den and Desire went against Leaders by Example. So this tandem of Leaders by Example, they've not only proven successful here in recent months in 880 Wrestling, but they're starting to venture out into different territories.
And I'm quite frankly shocked at the amount of credit you were willing to give that team there, and that your bias did not get in the way. But it's very true. And I think that some guy named John and Clayton King are probably the early frontrunners for QWI Tag Team of the Year.
Oh, you got to be kidding. Oh, shotgun drop kick. I mean, the QWI, if it's the questionable wrestling index, you're correct. So, yes, you're right. Oh, deadlift. Oh, big knee strike. Hitting John under the chin in a deadlift German suplex. Shoulders down. 2. Oh, 2 count.
2.9 action there for the Psychedelic Psychonaut. Staying right on John here with this ankle lock submission.
In the center of the ring. And the drug-free funeral that Mitch is planning, extending his reach to John, but Kristian, rightfully so, pulls John back, flips through, and look at that! Did I imply that that was just a forearm shiver by a child in a suit? Oh, you've got your paper in front of you again. Okay, let's hear more of this essay.
Drugs may promise fun, but they always take something away.
Well, let's not take anything away from big, strong John. And an elbow. 2 count. Struggling to get to his feet. And I'll give you this, Paul. I didn't see Leaders by Example taking control like they've been. Suplex. Oh, come on now.
Effective strategy to prevent a potential tag. I didn't see anything wrong with that.
Well, the straight edge superstar that Clayton King is, I expect this from Clayton King, but some guy named John, oh, cool. Yeah, let's dance it up. His sensibilities are the opposites of the audience of 880 Wrestling. Both down. Oh, well, Clayton's just going to walk in the ring, holding the ankle of Kristian. Step up enziguri. What an advantage here if Kristian's able to make the tag. Flying high is the Shaman of Smoke crossbody. Drop kick.
And Tony, much like you were willing to give the credit to Leaders by Example, I'll give some credit to Blizzy Blake. Blizzy has been on a roll, and I assure you that is no pun intended, over the past month or so. Victories over MV Young. Last month, all kinds of racking up W's all around. Pretty prominent fixture of the win column here, and has all the momentum in this one.
Into the mat is Blizzy Blake. Oh, that's left SGNJ in by himself. Oh, making John famous. Cover here. And you can ring it up. Marijuana for everybody.
Here are your winners, the team of Kristian Robinson and Blizzy Blake.
And you can see here on the replay by Sidekick Media Services, that tandem offense by Blizzy Blake and Kristian Robinson. And what a win for these two.
You admit it, right?
It is a huge win. And I guess drugs do win tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know Blizzy Blake and Kristian Robinson, not only are they on a roll inside the squared circle, but we'll be rolling after the gig too. See you guys, see you leaders. Thank you, Arnold's Glass and Vape. Nobody chills harder than us. So opening contest from Painted Black. Big tag team win for Blizzy Blake and Kristian Robinson.
Folks, give it up one more time for Kristian Robinson and Blizzy Blake. Now, I also want to mention before we get to our next contest, something very special for all of you who are here tonight. If you're watching at home, this is why you should also be here at the warehouse. We're doing a bit of a raffle tonight with a very, very special prize at the end of it. If you want to visit right over here, Chris, in the brown jacket, red cap right over by the entrance, we are selling raffle tickets 2 for 1, 3 for 5. We are giving away 2 VHS, you heard that right, VHS copies of last month's Misconnection 4. So go check them out, go get some tickets, because that's some memorabilia for you folks, I gotta say. This next match is a singles match scheduled for one fall.
And this contest was made just last night on Thursday Night Fights.
Making their way to the ring, they are Pittsburgh's favorite crash out and the queer-coded villain. This is No Mercy, Zeke Mercer!
Now Zeke Mercer last night stood in that very ring. Zeke Mercer closed the chapter on Brianna Band, closed the chapter on Christian Robinson, called out MB Young in the 4th line, and said they are the most dominant competitor in that ring. And we saw the Reaper, Matt Conard, up here on our Videotron, begging to differ, Paul.
And their opponent,
feel that chill?
Is that what that is? I thought it was the doors being opened.
making their way to the ring, fighting out of Derry, Maine. This is the Reaper, Matt Conard.
Now Matt Conard, a Pittsburgh local legend. We saw Matt Conard tearing it up at Penn Brewery, got involved with Gianni Michael Imrico, and that stoic, that staunch walk of the Reaper in his sights, one queer-coded villain. Paul, what do you think of Matt Conard, the Reaper?
Quite frankly, I'm terrified of Matt Conard. But Zeke Mercer is not. Zeke making it very clear last night that Zeke does not fear the Reaper. But that's only half the battle. There's still a matchup that has to happen here, and Zeke needs to get that win to basically prove what they were saying in terms of racking up the wins against the top talent here in 880 Wrestling and beyond.
Paul, not only do you feel the fear of the Reaper, but I've noticed that Zeke Mercer is a little hesitant to get into the ring.
And maybe a little bit contradictory to what we heard now that Conard is actually in the room and standing across from Zeke. That could certainly make a difference here as we are about to be underway. Matt Conard has become quite a staple in our big monthly events. Challenged Nick's Wilde a couple times for the 880 championship, both in one-on-one and multi-person matches.
Now, in show business, we call what Zeke Mercer is doing right now vamping. But don't count out Zeke Mercer, amateur wrestling background, a mat tactician, much like the Reaper, Matt Conard.
Both of these two are all-rounders, as we call. They can beat you so many different ways. If it's time to brawl, they can brawl. If you want a more technical feel, you can do that. We can do strikes. We can do some high-flying, agility-based offense. You know, it's always good to kind of be jacks of all trades in this business, and when you have different types of opponents, be able to work different styles. And we're seeing kind of some technical action here in the early going with this hammerlock.
Yeah, I expected that this is what we would see today. The ground and pound style. Well, you can hear what our audience thinks of Zeke Mercer, Paul.
Absolutely, and I understand that the audience may have some strong personal feelings about Zeke Mercer. It's quite frankly hard not to understand why. I totally get it. But you never take anything away from Zeke Mercer as a competitor, a veteran in this business, and one of the most talented wrestlers I've had the privilege to call their matches. And this is this is kind of a big challenge for both of these competitors here. This is a big one for whoever comes out on top.
Yeah, I agree with you, Paul. I mean, the momentum that's behind the queer-coded villain, and to Zeke Mercer's credit, she always said that the matriarchy is what kept her down. Paris Sahara, the Princess Amanda have kept Zeke Mercer down. And though I don't believe that was true, there is truth in the statements that Zeke Mercer has made since then. Everybody who's went one-on-one with Zeke Mercer since then has gone down. And that's where insert the Reaper Matt Conard. If life and death is what wrestling is to Zeke Mercer, well, we've got a Reaper that knows a lot about both of those. I see a little tit for tat. Up and over. Oh!
Getting kind of that benefit of being an all-rounder. Matt Conard now kind of switching to a little bit more of a power-focused style, kind of throwing Zeke around a little bit, and the queer-coded villain going to take a breather to the outside.
I don't hear Zeke running their mouth right now.
Member of the crowd here asking Zeke if they are scared. Again, Zeke has made that very clear, at least vocally. Neither competitor conceding here. So we're locking up.
Well, it looks like, Paul, that they're trying to stick low. They're trying to fight from underneath each of these individuals, but a big back elbow. There's nothing technical about an elbow to the temple. And Zeke Mercer, to her credit, she's smart, going right for the ropes before Conard even had that fully cinched in. And once again, the queer-coded villain creating space between themselves and Conard.
Certainly not a horrible strategy to kind of just reset things there. Here, look out though, Conard was thinking about getting involved here on the outside.
Well, if Zeke Mercer wants to create some space, Conard will make that up. Conard will follow you. Shot low, starting to spill out into this painted black crowd at the warehouse, and you can hear the hollow thud, that high kick to the back of the lower neck of Matt Conard. And the years of service that Matt Conard has put into professional wrestling, you know, they always say, oh, slap across the chest. You know, I'm sure that Conard's knees don't work like they used to, the elbows, the joints. There's a soreness to a veteran of professional wrestling.
I was about to say Zeke was taking advantage of things on the outside there, though Conard fighting back as the action moves back into the ring.
Oh, flying cross body, but quickly. And that's been the name of the game for the queer-coded villain. Any opportunity, creating space, and oh, big elbow to the back. One count.
Zeke typically just wrestles so smart. Just kind of laying in wait there, allowing the opponent to make mistakes, and taking advantage, and we were seeing it there.
But I've noticed something, Paul. All these covers are very superficial. They know that even an inch, even a slim chance of a 3 count is in their best benefit to end this as soon as possible. I think each of these individuals know the dangers of each other, even if they don't want to admit it.
And it's always important just to to keep your opponent on their toes. Those quick covers, typically you haven't sustained enough damage to go down for that 3 count, but you can catch someone off guard and you can score that quick 3 count.
Two count, you can see the frustration building. The strategy is here, Paul, to keeping the Reaper in the center of the ring?
Again, I think it's just wear Conard down, wait for those mistakes to come, capitalize on them. Zeke Mercer,
fiercest strikes in the locker room.
Not somebody you want to mess up against is Zeke Mercer, though Conard now getting the better of this exchange.
Trapping that arm behind the head. And we talked about this. It's that joint manipulation that may favor the queer-coded villain.
And Toddy, by keeping the action in the center of the ring, it's much more difficult for Conard to get to a rope to break the submission hold.
This may not be a submission match, but it may as well be. Referee checking Zeke's shoulders to see if they're down. Almost looking for a triangle choke. But Conard steadying his weight on that right knee, on that right leg, so the force isn't on that arm. Oh, just clubbering blows on top of Zeke.
I was about to say watch the shoulders, but Conard then going with those stiff strikes.
I'm surprised that Conard begged off there. They were finally in the dominant mount position, had Zeke down, and they created some space. I don't know who got the brunt of that exchange. Big boot.
Now Conard kind of taking advantage of Zeke getting a little bit overzealous here in this corner.
Nothing in the pool, bounce off the rope, and there's that big clothesline. Some fire from the Reaper right now, Paul. The Reaper's gonna lock in, and everybody fears the Reaper when they're locked in. Shoulders down, ooh. Closest combination that almost resulted in a pinfall.
And all the momentum on the side of Matt Conard. It's going to be a situation now just to stay on Zeke and capitalize. Zeke now fighting back in.
Oh, into the buckle. Hold on, though, is Conard. Big double axe handle to the back of the head. Oh! Rolling German suplex. Oh! Goodness gracious. Cover here. Oh! Just a 2 count. I thought as much as you, this one was over. But I think Conard has a point to prove. Matt Conard doesn't show up at 880 Wrestling for no good reason. Matt Conard shows up at 880 Wrestling when there is a point to prove to add to his body count in Pittsburgh Wrestling. Stiff strikes to the face. And Paul, those midsection spears, I mean, all the oxygen expelling from the lungs, but you can see Conard grab it onto the rope, but he's a forearm shiver.
And Toddy, it feels like we're entering the late stages of this match where every move just means more.
Oh, it wasn't pretty, but it was almost effective, hanging on to that leg. Oh, there's some trickery there. and right in the center of the ring. Wait, who that just run by you?
That's Saturn Price?
Saturn, what the hell is Saturn Price doing here? What is Saturn Price doing out here? He has a match later. Roll up, wait, foot on the ropes! Foot on the damn ropes!
Here is your winner, No Mercy, Zeke Mercer.
Saturn Price running out from the back. I legitimately have no damn idea why the peanut butter zombie is here. It's a match later on with the hardcore champion Casey Warr.
Well, Toddy, the bad blood between...
There's the replay.
The bad blood between Matt Conard and Dead Hand Society is well documented as Saturn Price gets involved here, but the big story is the record books are going to show Zeke Mercer was kind of right here. The win column.
Right in
big
what
win
way?
For Zeke Mercer.
Right in a right way or right in a wrong way?
They don't put asterisks on the wins and losses.
Be that as it may, Zeke Mercer, a big victory to continue their momentum. Let's throw back to Eamon Payton.
Well, folks, as the action continues on, I got a question for you. Who's ready for a championship match? And you know what? We love you so much here at 880 Wrestling. We're going to give you a little treat. How about a double championship match?
I'm game.
Sign me up.
This next match is a singles match scheduled for one fall. And it is for the Fest Wrestling and Hybrid Championship Wrestling Championships.
He made his debut at 880 Wrestling just last night in a win over Danny Moe. The New Age Punisher, the Blazing B-Boy, is on the East Coast for Painted Black 2. Of course, B-Boy, hellacious battles with Chris Hero, CM Punk, Jack Evans, Homicide. Our commentary partner, Austin Carnes, is younger than how many years that B-Boy has had in professional wrestling.
The first time I remember seeing B-Boy was back on Wrestling Society X.
Yeah.
As part of the cartel, I believe.
He's fought in some Aztec temples as well.
All over the place, but tonight, right here at the warehouse. That's pretty sick.
And what an opportunity it is for an East Coast trip of B-Boy, taking home 2 championships from 2 different promotions.
He's the king of many promotions in many cities, but he's not the king of Pittsburgh.
Well, not only does MV Young defend the East Coast, he defends the city of Pittsburgh. Been looking forward to this one before it was even announced. What a dream match that is for Painted Black 2. This place is about to become unglued for the KOP. The blonde bombshell looking, did a couple dingers over the left center field fence. Pittsburgh Pirates opening day just around the corner. 2 legends of independent wrestling collide one-on-one this evening.
As you mentioned, baseball season is about to start here in Pittsburgh, but MV Young's season is year-round.
Your referee for this contest, Scotty Davidson. Introducing first, to my right, the challenger, fighting out of San Diego, California. This is the New Age Punisher, B-Boy! And his opponent, to my left, fighting out of 829 Industry Street, a.k.a. The Warehouse, by way of the shop and 880 Dottie Block. He is Pittsburgh made, Pittsburgh paid, and internationally laid. He is the current reigning and defending Fest Wrestling and Hybrid Heavyweight Champion, the King of Pittsburgh, MV Young!
Referee for this contest, Scott Lefty Davidson. This one's going to be a good one, buddy.
Big fight feel in the house tonight. Again, the Fest Wrestling Championship and the Hybrid Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, both on the line. We announced this week a talent exchange between 880 Wrestling and Hybrid Championship Wrestling. And of course, their title, as it's already happened several times, will be defended here tonight at the Warehouse. And what a challenger for that championship is B-Boy. Little split crowd here tonight.
You can feel the buzz.
Can't wait for these two to lock up, Toddy. Sportsmanship.
I don't know that B-Boy showed Danny Moe any sportsmanship as he held her tights last night for a quick roll-up victory. Feel the tension in the room. As you mentioned, it's about a 50-50 split. Both of these two attractions of the past, present, and future of independent wrestling, and they collide tonight. Shoulder tackle by the KOP. And if you notice, Paul, B-Boy not breaking eye contact from MV Young. You know, the Demon Bale is behind the side of B-Boy. But these people here at the Warehouse, I don't know, some of them are rougher than demons.
We are wall to wall here tonight at 829 Industry Street. Not an empty chair in the house either.
Oh. Big forearm shiver into the corner.
To expect to see and hear, quite frankly, a lot of strikes in this one.
Catching the boot. Wise decision by the double champion. If we know anything about B-Boy, the innovative B-Boy created wrestling moves that sometimes the newer generation do not even know that they got those wrestling moves from one B-Boy. That's a wise decision by MV Young to take out that leg. Oh, that's not what the B stands for. But MV's going to chase him, catching a leg. Oh, that's a trap, Paul. Trap setting 101.
And right there on the apron, you see the veteran experience of B-Boy, just kind of baiting MV Young there, and now taking advantage of things on the outside.
Slap across the chest, but that only looks like it's pumped the blood faster through the heart of the KOP. This motivates him. This fires him up. Forearm strike back.
B-Boy basically begging for that shot there. Setting the pace and setting the tone is going to be such a critical part of this one.
Get out of the way, everybody. God! Did you hear that frying pan shot off the pole? We know that B-Boy, a lot of his offense, he needs his limbs to create a base for himself, even his wrists. Now B-Boy, with the different innovative offense that he has offered, I mean, he's been through IWA Mid-South, he's been through CZW, from Bakersfield to Boyle Heights to San Diego to Pittsburgh. But MV Young himself, internationally traveled, currently holds a Canadian championship. There's more than just gold on the line. There's respect, there's lineage.
Both competitors on their knees, but it's not stopping the trading of clubbing blows. And again, this is another one very audible here.
But these two are the toughest they come. I mean, goodness. The combined years that these two have had in pro wrestling. Oh, wait. His feet around the head of MV. Oh, God. Lefty, get in there and check on him. I mean, referees were going to swallow the whistle in a double championship bout like this, but I mean, MV has had neck problems, shoulder problems in the past. Slowing the pace down. Has that arm trapped. Oh. You don't see often the competitors do this to the King of Pittsburgh. Goodness.
Absolutely vicious offense by B-Boy. And really has MV on the ropes here. It's hard to find people that match the intensity, the toughness, and the viciousness of the King of Pittsburgh, but B-Boy is certainly someone that stacks up by comparison, and that's why I was so much looking forward to this matchup. And be fighting back into it now.
Solar plexus, the big shot to the temple of the double champ. Dumping him outside. What does the New Age Punisher have in mind? I mean, it's even a blatant disrespect just to dump the double champ out there and just take a breather.
Certainly can't win those titles by countout, but I think B-Boy fully expecting MV to get back in the ring and was ready to take advantage the moment that he did. Another submission attempt.
A big smile. Ripping at the face, ripping at the mouth. And the true colors of B-Boy are showing right now.
I'd be curious how the crowd reacts to that, who was very split going into this, but I think maybe some of the particular behaviors of B-Boy might have some people kind of flip their opinion on what they want to happen here.
I think he's taking a little bit too much time. Up and over. And your professional opinion was correct. I think originally this Painted Black 2 crowd had a lot of respect for B-Boy. It was a 50-50, but as this contest continues, those who are true of heart are often the survivors that prevail, and this audience is behind MV Young right now. Ice at Uranagi, followed by a senton. Cover, 2. Oh, 2 count.
And even though that wasn't the end, Toddy, we felt the momentum completely shift. That opening from that suplex from MV Young has him firmly in the driver's seat. He's got control of this matchup, and now he's got the inside track to keeping both of those titles.
Keep in mind, he's holding that neck, holding the side of his head, trying to clear those cobwebs. That all Japan style. Oh, it's very rough and tumble, but so is B-Boy. Oh, rolling cutter. 2 count, says Lefty. You know, maybe in a different time, maybe in a different city, that would favor B-Boy. But in MV Young City, where he is the king of, it's going to take a little bit more than that, Paul. And I think B-Boy's recognizing that.
Absolutely, just a couple days removed from, again, the announcement of that Hybrid Championship Wrestling partnership. MV Young certainly doesn't want to lose that title to someone that you could easily perceive as an outsider here in 880.
Yeah, then what are we gonna do? But whatever is left in the tank is gonna burn through the engine with 2 feet on the gas. No brakes. Oh, they're both woozy.
Who will get their wits about them first? MV dropping to one knee here. I would say it's looking like it's B-Boy getting the better end of that right now.
You know, the rough and tumble matches that B-Boy's had with the Briscoes, with Super Dragon. Oh. You know, some tough cookies have won against B-Boy, but much like MV Young, he's looking to rock the house. Switching into the next gear, deadlift German suplex, 2, and so very close.
And you mentioned it, B-Boy has been in the ring with a who's who in both independent and mainstream wrestling. But it's MV Young here at 880 Wrestling that is taking B-Boy to the limit.
That nasty frying pan chop across the chest is it awakening something in B-Boy?
When's the last time you saw someone unfazed by an MV Young chop,
I
Toddy?
don't think ever, buddy. Oh, looking for maybe a discus forearm shiver, blocked, and just knees to the chin, knees to the face. But MV exchanging those strikes. Oh, big lariat. Shades of Bobby Duncombe Jr.
Just as brutal the second time.
The longest reigning Enjoy champion, former Wrestlers Lab champion. We talked about the cast of characters that B-Boy grew up in, but don't forget MV Young. I mean, his history goes way, way back with some very talented individuals, and I think Lefty was checking in on B-Boy. And B-Boy, I guess, responded that he's not given up. Looking for a standing 10 count.
B-Boy is able to answer the count, but here we go. MV staying right on him. Oh, reversal.
A cross special, brainbuster.
I'm curious if maybe B-Boy was playing a little possum there to be seemingly so on the ropes and barely answer that standing 10 count to then immediately reverse that offense of MV. Maybe that's the 2 decades plus in the business starting to come to fruition there.
Making a sign that that's it. Ducking out of the way. Wait a minute. Shoulders down too. That's it.
Here is your winner and still Fast Wrestling and Hybrid Heavyweight Champion, the King of Pittsburgh, MV Young.
There's that old saying, you can't trick a trickster, especially the King of Pittsburgh. Shoulders to the mat, 3 seconds is all it takes. And B-Boy should know that because that's exactly the strategy he used against Danny Moe yesterday.
And B-Boy has mixed it up with so many greats, Toddy, but tonight it was MV Young that is causing B-Boy to leave the warehouse 1-1 in 880 Wrestling.
But be that as it may, we are very thankful to have B-Boy represent the West Coast here on the East Coast for Painted Black 2. What a match that was. All respect here. It looks like B-Boy has something to say.
Damn. You know, I've been doing this 28 years. I have wrestled the best. I have mentored the best. I have trained the best. It's because of crowds like this that reminds me of my roots. All I ask of y'all is that this and what you guys are a community of, it's the heart of professional wrestling. All I ask is talk to your family, talk to your friends, and keep selling this bitch out. I haven't been to Pittsburgh in over 20 years, and the love from MV, y'all, the people in the back, I am humbly, very sincerely appreciative. With that being said, I would love to come back. Give it up for the King of Pittsburgh, MV Young.
What an awesome opportunity it has to have B-Boy a part of 880 Wrestling for Painted Black 2.
Always great to have veterans like B-Boy, 28 years in the business, just that presence in the locker room. So many of our talent just up and coming, just only been training, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 years. And to have someone with 28 years in the business just in the locker room to learn from, I think is just instrumental. And if B-Boy wants to come back, not that my opinion matters, I would be thrilled to have B-Boy back.
a match. Let's take it back to Amen.
Folks, give it up one more time for both MV Young and B-Boy. I know I can speak, I think, on behalf of everyone in 880 Wrestling. We are so thankful that B-Boy came out this entire week and contributed so much to the environment backstage and just everywhere. So give it up for B-Boy one more time.
Honored to call that with you, honestly.
Now here at 880 Wrestling, we make a lot of promises that, based off of what I'm hearing from you guys, I feel like we're delivering some of the best technical wrestling that you will find in this tri-state area. Some of the most hard-hitting wrestling, like we just saw in this last match. But how about we take things hardcore?
How's that sound, Paul?
I think I'm in.
This next match is a singles match scheduled for one fall. And it is for the 880 Wrestling Hardcore Championship.
Well, the brothers in the fourth line have maybe their toughest task of each of their 880 wrestling careers.
Introducing first, the challenger, representing the Dead Hand Society, fighting out of Space Coast, Florida. This is the Peanut Butter Zombie, Saturn Price.
Now, Saturn Price has always shown that Saturn Price is an individual that is not only sick inside the squared circle, but demented out of that. Agenda number one was interfering a little bit earlier on, and Zeke, Mercer, and Matt Conard. So I don't know what business that Saturn had in that one, but he better come prepared.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would want to make more enemies right before a championship match, but nevertheless, like you said, this isn't the first time we've seen Saturn tonight, and I certainly wouldn't want to make more enemies because this opponent is going to be a challenge in and of itself.
His opponent.
Get those motors rolling. The man who almost ended some guy named John's life last month, right out in front of us. The backbone of the Steel City Killers is in Painted Black 2.
Making his way to the ring, fighting out of the City of Champions. He is banned in 13 international hockey leagues. He is the current reigning and defending 880 Wrestling Hardcore Champion. The Muay Thai Maniac. The Shoot Psychopath, KC Warr!
And these two, no strangers to one another. Saturn Price attempted to end the life of that man's best friend, Brandon St. James. And the biggest mistake that Saturn Price has ever made was not getting the job done against BSJ. Because right now, a Muay Thai maniac is quite angry. Oh. As soon as this bell rings, get ready to roll.
This is about so much more than a title toddy. This one is personal. Again, both directly and indirectly. We know Saturn Price had those battles with KC Warr's brother in the fourth line, Brandon St. James, put BSJ on the shelf for about a month and kind of delayed BSJ's pursuit of the 880 championship. And we want Warr here at the warehouse.
Now this is the second time that these individuals have met one-on-one. The first time, August 14th, 2025. Now going into that contest, Saturn Price stole the beloved barbed wire hockey stick of Casey Warr. And at that night at the shop, Casey Warr got his comeuppance. And I'm certain that Saturn has forgotten. Saturn never forgets anything, especially if there's gold on the line. Oh, knocking the peanut butter zombie. And right away, in through this painted black crowd.
And this is just an environment that Casey Warr thrives in so much. Just the pure chaos of this hardcore style, the physical nature of these matches. Casey Warr, if he gets past Saturn, could easily have such a stranglehold on this division and this championship.
And there is that beloved hockey stick across the back of Saturn. And that may have spent some time in the car of Saturn. That's where Saturn kept that hockey stick away from Casey. Oh, God! Barbed wire to the back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's not the impact of the stick, it's the barbed wire wrapped around it that just digs in afterwards.
Wait, what's that? Oh, my goodness. A goaltender stick introduced by Price. Oh! Firing shots, and we spoke to that person with the red hoodie before this event. This is their first 880 wrestling show, up close and personal with the audience. And this audience to Casey Warr is like family. These are all of our family members watching our brethren get... Oh, wait a second. I don't know that Saturn... Yes! You can see the blood begin to spill from the back of Saturn Price. Oh, choking him! Another championship match. Scott Lefty Davidson is swallowing the whistle. And don't forget, a lot is on Casey Warr's mind, even more than Saturn. In the main event this evening, in a steel cage for the first time ever, at 880 Wrestling, Nick Wilde defends the 880 championship against Brandon St. James. What do you think the momentum of a Casey Warr win will mean to the locker room of the fourth line?
We've talked about the stranglehold that Dead Hand Society has on 880 Wrestling, but could you imagine both members of the fourth line being the singles champions of the two top divisions in 880?
And Saturn Price looking a bit unorthodox there. We've got a big hearty can of beans introduced.
And certainly when you mention the Dead Hand Society, of course, the thing about hardcore rules is that there are very few rules. We don't have any DHS members out here right now, but it's perfectly legal, theoretically, for them to join the fray. And I imagine they may not hesitate to get involved if things start to really tilt KC's way.
And earlier on this evening, we saw a technical contest between Zeke Mercer and Matt Conard. In all respect to that contest, this is not that.
Well, this is what 880 Wrestling's all about, Toddy. You get a little bit of everything. You get what, folks locking up, you get high-flying action, and then you have people just beating each other up with weapons.
And this is turning into a bar room brawl. Taking after his head coach, MV Young. Wait! Oh my goodness! That would have killed KC. You see the recoil affecting the grip of Saturn Price. Face to face, the peanut butter zombie and the black and red dynamite.
Giving Saturn a free shot.
I don't know if that was wise. But Casey Warr said, if you give it to me, I'll give it that much harder back to you. Forearm strikes, forearm shiver exchange.
Now, Toddy, I admit I have never wrestled a match in my life, but I would think the object of this would be also to avoid punishment.
For some, yes. Across the barn door back of Saturn Price, you can hear that thump in downtown.
Wouldn't shock me if you could hear that one from the shop. Probably not Dottie Block, though, to be fair.
Revving those engines, flying through your computer screens at home. And the leader of the LFG Mafia directing the choir of misfits here. And look at the bumps and bruises accumulated already on the back and the shoulder blades of Casey Warr.
Look out, Saturn's got that chair.
Drive-by chairing by the Peanut Butter Zombie, and that chair disintegrated. My God.
I don't think they like Saturn.
Oh, that piece of that chair. The sadistic son of a bitch, Saturn, stabbing the forehead of Casey Warr. Look away if you're squeamish. What the Peanut Butter Zombie is known to do under the tutelage of the trigger finger Nick's Wilde. There's been a battle internally in the Dead Hand Society between Gunnar Bergman and Saturn Price on who can eliminate the Steel City Killers. I said Saturn Price's worst move was not ending the career of BSJ, but wouldn't that be not only a championship on the mantle, but a head on the trophy if he's able to knock out Casey here? And so far, so good, huh?
Oh. Big strikes from Saturn Price. Seeing that power advantage at work here. As we're kind of turning this into a sort of traditional match. Certainly not one that's technical in nature.
And much like his coach, MV Young, oh, it's only motivating the Muay Thai maniac. The guy drinks blood, for God's sakes.
He does say that. I'm not sure how literal, if it's more figurative, but I do hear that quite often from KC.
But right now, standing tall is Big Bad Saturn. Oh, almost like a punt.
Where do you think Austin is? He's not going to try to give a Carnes breaker to Saturn, is he?
Oh, come on now. Some guy named John stuck his nose into Austin's business. And some guy named John attacking an Oak, okay. Smile for the camera, Saturn. Oh! You can hear those hollow kicks on the chest. Almost like a version of a Saito suplex. Taking too much time.
And the look in Saturn's eyes was one of, I got this. I'm the new hardcore champion, but KC gets that shoulder up, and this one continues.
Well, we've seen a can of beans introduced. We got another chair. Hey, that was for a paying customer.
Yeah, those cost extra.
Oh, okay.
You ain't hardcore! You
Saturn in the face of some of our beloved audience here at 880 Wrestling.
We've seen something very reminiscent of this a few months ago. Saturn getting very creative with these chairs.
And this is a very similar scenario when BSJ was taken out by Saturn. But Casey Warr has noticed the similarities and have come alive. Oh, big knee strike. Wait, caught up. Oh, no. And wait, grab it by the trunks. Grab it by the trunks. Gigantic power bomb. Oh, God. What in the? No. No. Is looking to end the career of Casey Warr here. Trying to fight out of this.
Just barely able to fight out, but maybe just to prolong the inevitable here.
Oh, still trying, attempting to get out of this any way possible. I don't know that Casey knows where he is.
He's dead weight.
Oh, could it become dead weight in the dead hand? Vicious power bomb.
That's it, Toddy. New champion.
Those chairs look like crumpled up sardine cans. Cover here, 2 and 3. No! No! Casey Warr kicked out of Saturn Price's power bomb. No one has done that before.
Does he know that? Does he know he kicked out? Does he know the match is still going? He's been brutalized by the Peanut Butter Zombie. Now that has his belt out. Oh. Whipping the Hardcore champion with that belt. Trying to use one belt to gain another.
Oh. Using that leather strap. Oh. Casey's got to fight from underneath.
I think it was the buckle of that belt with that strike, Toddy, right to the face of KC.
Yeah, that'll poke out an eye. Oh, that crumpled up piece of trash that we used to call a chair, though, is in the hands of KC. That's what I call some headbanging. Oh, the southpaw. Big super kick. Bringing it around town in a clothesline. Cover here by the champ. 2. Is it 2, says Lefty. Goodness. See what Casey Warr can muster up. See if he can hit that next gear.
And he's certainly thinking about putting this one away.
Looking for the Psycho knee, but caught at the pass. There's a knee strike. Oh, clothesline. End over end, and they're both down. It's that replay by Sidekick Media Services.
Saturn might have just slightly gotten the better end of that, but it certainly wasn't good for either competitor.
Regardless of today's outcome here at Painted Black 2, Paul, a match like this will shorten your career. And that's exactly what the Dead Hand Society has tried to do with the Fourth Line, have tried to do with the Steel City Killers at 880 Wrestling. And there's a velvet bag that's usually not good in a scenario like this.
certainly shades of last month at Missed Connections 4. We saw Thumbtacks get involved in that particular hardcore championship match. And I would have to believe that is what is in this bag.
Oh, boy, you're right. My goodness. There's a lull that has fallen over this crowd here at the warehouse.
Though Saturn kind of taking his time, though, stringing those tacks all around the ring, kind of giving KC a chance to catch his breath.
Plugged in is Warr.
Might not matter, though. This will end it if he hits this.
Maybe looking for those. A power bomb. Wait a sec. Casey Warr shifting all his weight into his feet. Thinking better of it. Saturn Price maybe looking for a brain buster of the Casey Warr fashion, but again blocked. And the LFG Mafia responds precariously over those tacks. Oh, God! Tacks into the barn door size back of Saturn Price. Looks like a pin cushion.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Well, maybe your boy Gunner can pick out those tacks piece by piece, yeah? One by one.
And I think maybe in an earlier stage of this match, it might have been enough to end it, but just the punishment that KC has taken wasn't really quite able to capitalize on it as much as you would expect. And we're trading strikes again here.
And we all know that the Dead Hand Society promised a scorched earth over 880 Wrestling upon their inception. Tonight at Painted Black 2, Casey Warr and Brandon St. James's head are in a guillotine, but can they get the job done? Oh! Oh! Southpaw strikes. Fourth line grinder mentality and a shot low. Oh, is he biting him?
Firmly behind KC here, the Muay Thai maniac.
Oh. High kicks to the chest. Look at the tacks in Casey's chest right now. Uh-oh. Here at 880 Wrestling, we like to do it raw, Paul. Lefty, you can leave it on. Leave it for the big dogs. Strikes to the face. Oh.
You can see Casey's chest starting to bleed a little bit from those tacks.
That rolling elbow.
Oh, down into the tacks.
Exposed skin on those tacks.
It wasn't quite an impact move into those tacks, but I'm sure it still hurt really badly.
Psycho knee. Oh, God. Can Casey make the cover? Title on the line, and that's it, baby!
Here is your winner, and still 880 Wrestling Hardcore Champion, KC Warr!
Queen up on aisle 4. simple, so many words to describe the 880 Wrestling Hardcore Champion. The one you have to use is a winner. What momentum and the side of the Steel City Killers for our cage match main event. And I'm sure Brandon St. James is backstage right now and he can hear Casey's music and that's pumping him up.
Dead Hand Society will not add the 880 Hardcore Championship to their ranks tonight. We will see if they potentially lose their stranglehold on the 880 Championship later on tonight in our main event. But right now, it's one in the win column for the fourth line.
And look at the mess in the ring.
I'll tell you, Toddy, it takes a certain type of mentality to participate in the hardcore division of 880 Wrestling or any other promotion. I'm sure that being called the Shoot Psychopath gives you a leg up.
See, he got you that time.
Folks,
He made
give
good.
it up one more time for your hardcore champion, Casey Warr.
That was a huge
Now,
number
as
for me,
we
Tony.
get the wreckage in the ring cleared up and disposed of, we want to give some thank yous to some of the folks that make 880 Wrestling run each and every week here at the warehouse, both for these special shows that we do, but also every Thursday for Thursday night fights. First of all, give it up to Sorg and everyone at Sidekick Media Services.
We love Sorg.
Also, shout out to our amazing camera people, CL, Matt, shout out to D, doing a fantastic job as always, broadcasting us on IndyWrestling.live and on YouTube. I want to shout out sound right now, and I want this shout out to be especially loud because last year at Painted Black, this person started with us, and it is their 1 year anniversary with 880 Wrestling. Give it up for the emotional support twink, Lane Alexander! So vital to everything we do, so grateful to Lane. We also want to give a shout out to our lighting crew. Give it up to Zane, give it up to Aaron, who do a fantastic job with our presentation. I also want to shout out our commentary team for this evening. We have professional Paul Michaels. I also want to give it up for Pittsburgh's favorite jagoff, 880's favorite jagoff as well, Austin Carnes. And last but not least, of course, the voice of 880 Wrestling, Toddy Tadera! I want to shout out our referees for this evening. Give it up for Scotty Davidson, Tony Leo, JD River, who've been doing a fantastic job calling the action tonight. I also want to give a shout out to our sponsors for this evening. Give it up for La Spada Contracting and Landscaping. Go visit them for all your home renovation needs, 412-508-1669. Also, Arnold Glass and Vape, shout out to TR. Go visit them. And honestly, now that Leaders by Example lost earlier tonight and that stipulation didn't go through, absolutely go to Arnold Glass and Vape to celebrate. I also want to know, my name is Eamon Payton. Thank you for allowing me to host this evening and every time here at 880 Wrestling. It is my great honor. I appreciate it. And also I want to announce that our next mega event outside of Thursday night fights that we're going to be having is on Saturday, April 25th, and it's going to be a very special one, folks. You may have heard our recent partnership with Hybrid Championship Wrestling up in Canada. Very excited for that, and it's going to be an epic event because April 25th, it will be hybrid versus 880, Canada versus Pittsburgh. And that is right here at the warehouse. We got more great action to come, and I'm going to pass the mic over at this time to your ring announcer for this next contest. Folks, give it up for Toddy Tondera!
Toddy's up there.
I'll tell you who's here, Paul. It's me. I'm back, baby. You ready for some Painted Black?
Oh, I've been ready.
This next contest is for the 880 Tag Team Championship.
I didn't know where you were, Austin. I was waiting for you to interfere in the hardcore title match.
Listen, I saw the thumbtacks and I was not about to get in there again. That was a mistake last time. But we're going to change gears here, go into a tag team title match. The challenger. The party is always on with these three. You got Dev, Swayze, Big Jim, Fridge, and Into Mickey Morris, it seems like. Mickey obviously is going to have to go to the back. He is banned from ringside along with Billy the Alien. No outside interference for once in this match, Paul. We're going to determine a tag team champion fair and square with the Department of Jocks squaring off against Psychedelic Dreams.
You're not sure that I totally agree with exactly how the math shook out to lead us to everyone banned from ringside, but a couple weeks ago, when the Department of Jocks were calculating the odds of winning the 880 Tag Team Championship, that is the stipulation that the two teams mutually landed on. That's interesting because that numbers game sometimes comes to the advantage of the Department of Jocks. But they kind of have the number here, to be honest, of the 880 Tag Team Champions.
Big Jim Fridge and Dev Swayze, of course, both had singles win in recent weeks against both members of Psychedelic Dreams. But tonight, Alao and Sammy has a chance for redemption as they look to defend their titles. Sammy Suntheimer and Alao Dreams has since been two-time 880 Tag Team champions, having successful title defenses, which pretty much feels like every week now, Paul. We've seen title defenses on Thursdays, on our monthly shows, and yet again here tonight at Painted Black, it is no different. Department of Jocks, Psychedelic Dreams, 880 Tag Team Championship.
Well, Austin, that had been the case for the early months of the year, but again, in singles competition, we saw Alao Dreams and Sammy Suntheimer both fall to Jim Fridge and Dev Swayze respectfully. And normally in a matchup, a championship matchup of any kind, it's the challengers that have something to prove against the champions. But we're kind of seeing the inverse. The Jocks are 2-0 this month against the Dreams. So it's actually the champions that I think are kind of backed into a corner and have something to prove if they want to keep those titles.
We're going to pass it over to Toddy Tondera, the voice of 880 Wrestling, for our in-ring introductions for this 880 Tag Team Championship match.
Referee for the 880 Tag Team Championship, official Big JD. First, to my left, the challengers. Standing at a combined height of 2 Cathedral of Learnings.
Okay.
First, Dev Swayze, Big Jim Fridge. They are the Department of Jocks.
I must have heard that word on TikTok or something.
And the champions. They come to the ring psychedelically connected with Billy the Alien.
Of course, banned from ringside, as is the rest of the Jocks.
The Psychedelic Prince, Sammy Suntheimer. The Prophecy, Alao Dreams. They are your 880 Tag Team Champions, Psychedelic Dreams.
Thank you, Tommy Tondera, for the in-ring introductions. You can already see there is no love lost between these two young teams. Well, here we go. We're starting this now. Ring that bell. Psychedelic Dreams and Department of Jocks squaring off. These are two of our younger teams that we have here in 880 Wrestling. Honestly, Paul, they debuted around the same time, but Psychedelic Dreams had a bit of a head start at winning championship gold. The Jocks look to rewrite that here tonight.
And Dreams already two-time 880 Tag Team Champions. And when you talk about the Department of Jocks, you talk about raw talent and ability that have come up short in a lot of scenarios, kind of sometimes take their eye off the ball, no pun intended. And it hasn't always translated to some of the most success as far as win-loss records in 880. But look out, here comes Alao.
Oh, Alao taking flight, shot out like a cannon, taking out both of the Jocks. And how about that kip up there on the outside? Alao Dreams ever so talented, but so is Sammy Suntheimer as he climbs to the top rope. Jocks have no clue, and Sammy takes flight.
Again, it's stuff exactly like that, Austin. I mean, they were on the outside just kind of take a breather, and they know that Alao Dreams and Sammy Suntheimer are both capable of effectively finding creative and effective ways to get from the inside of the ring to the outside of the ring, and it is Psychedelic Dreams setting the tone and the pace here in the early going.
Sammy starts off the match for the moment with Big Jim Fridge, but tagging in Alao Dreams now as he delivers that big uppercut. Back and forth tags now from the Dreams. And this is a wise strategy. Keep Big Jim Fridge cornered and far away. Dev is finally making it back to his corner as well. Oh, big kick to the face. Psychedelic Dreams I've had so many tag team title defenses in the last couple months. Usually, Paul, I would ask you, do you think they're 100% going into this match? But just based off the start here, I think they are.
Yeah, and again, trying to just avenge that pair of singles losses they had this month against the Jocks. You know, this might be a new Department of Jocks that we're seeing here, Austin. I mean, they have been getting tutored in recent weeks by Dalton Lexicon. They seem to be getting better for the most part at their focus. They're getting better at their math. They're getting better at their English skills. All kinds of great things turning up for the Jocks.
I mean, who knows? The Department of Jocks still have a combined 1.5 GPA from what I've heard, Paul, so I'm not 100% sure on that.
Just wait till finals week, and I'm sure that'll go up.
Okay. Alao looking to hook Big Jim Fridge as Fridge fights out of it. Fridge obviously has had some pretty cool opportunities here in 880 Wrestling. I look back to the show in Cleveland last summer where Big Jim Fridge was victorious. Of course, he had an 880 championship title match against Nick Wilde as well in the past where he had an impressive showing. This might be easily his biggest opportunity yet.
And that's a title match that he earned, Austin, the very first show of 2026 here at the Warehouse. Jim Fridge won a four-way match to earn that championship opportunity.
And tagging now is Dev Swayze, and we're still not 100% sure how tall Dev is. This has been going back to the shop days, but right now he claims to be 6'7". For the cover, only 2.
Though I'm a bit confused, though, because I know that the Cathedral of Learning is taller than that. And if Fridge and Dev combined are 2 Cathedral of Learnings, forget it, it doesn't matter.
I'm about to say that means like Fridge would be insanely tall, like taller than 6'7".
Right.
Well, hooking the leg again, into a bit of an inverted fisherman suplex. Covered now by Big Jim Fridge for the titles, only 2. Big Jim Fridges, of course, is one of the most charismatic members of our 880 roster. And if you're a fan out there, he's going to let you hear it. So does the competitors in the ring. Oh, now a bit of a 2-on-1 assault. Fridge and Dev with 2 big back elbows to the face. And then a fallen elbow.
teamwork by the Jocks, isolating Alao in the center of the ring.
Cover only 2. And you know, Paul, Big Jim Fridge isn't the only one who's had opportunities out of the Jocks. So has Dev Swayze. I go back to that match against MV Young not so long ago where Dev Swayze stepped up to the plate. Unsuccessful in that match, but still put up a good showing against the King of Pittsburgh. And speaking of the King of Pittsburgh, he'd be happy about that chop.
And no shame in taking an L to the King of Pittsburgh. A match against MV Young, even if you don't come out on top, is an opportunity to learn and get the experience and improve. And again, I think just with those individual accolades, the Jocks appear to maybe be championship ready here, and they've got control of this one.
In a seated position is Alao, big boot from Dev, and here's a senton by Big Jim Fridge. Hooking the leg now, cover, only a 2 count.
Fridge falling back into old habits there with that lackadaisical cover, counting on his fingers.
And of course,
Fridge, of course, recently learned to count to 3.
Oh, so you knew that too? I thought the tutor would pay off a little bit better. Dev Swayze now using the long legs to his advantage. Of course, there's still so much more incredible action to come tonight. First ever steel cage match in our main event. But at the moment, Big Jim Fridge has Alao Dreams in the far corner. The ref is distracted, though.
And that's a situation that the Jocks will look to take advantage of here. Again, they've had the number of both Alao and Sammy in singles competition. But it's one thing to beat the Dreams in one-on-one matches, but they mesh so well together as a team. It is a much different environment to go 2v2 with Psych Dreams.
Lining up Alao is Big Jim Fridge with that DOJ boot right across the cheek.
And Alao Dreams has been on Dream Street for what feels like several minutes now. It would certainly be in Alao's best interest to get over to his corner and tag in his partner, Sammy Suntheimer.
I can only wonder how much is already taken out of the prophecy of Alao Dreams, that he is not in the best position right now. Perched up on the top rope. Big Jim Fridge has him hooked, possibly looking for a superplex. Alao fights free. And Big Jim Fridge lines up Alao. Look at this, hooking him with the legs. Alao denies. Oh, kick to the face. You can hear the support for Dreams as he catches Big Jim Fridge. And this may be the turning point of the match, Paul.
It is certainly an opening for the champions. You see the replay here by Sidekick Media Services. Alao creating that opening. Would love to make that tag to Sammy.
Catching,
we're on the verge of it.
Catching his Dreams from Big Jim Fridge and makes the tag. Here comes Sammy Suntheimer. Sammy is the freshest competitor in this match, and he has taken it to the Jocks. Oh, big kick to the mouth. And catches Devin to release German suplex. Oh, the Big Jim Fridge hooks Sammy. Sammy, big step up in Seguri. Now a knee to the face. Coming from Sammy to retain, and Dev Swayze is here to save the day. Or in this case, rue the day. Oh, big south of heaven.
Swayze using that power advantage. We saw that exact dance about a week ago in the Enjoy Odyssey.
Oh gosh, and Alao catches Dev. It was great to see all 4 of these guys in the Enjoy Odyssey. But right now they're competing for gold, and look at Fridge catching Dreams. What a stunner off the ropes. He is letting everyone here hear it. And tags in Devin. Paul, this could very well be the beginning of the end for the Dreams. Alao left all alone and is going up on the top rope. Can only imagine what's going through the Jocks' head.
The Jocks do have Alao in his own corner as opposed to in the Jocks' corner. If Sammy can kind of get his wits about him, theoretically he could get up on the apron and tag himself in.
He very well could, but Sammy may have a different idea, Paul. The Jocks have Alao hooked, and Sammy has the Jocks. Down both of them go.
I think that idea worked better than mine, I'll be honest.
And Alao's all lined up. Both Jocks are laid out right in front of him. Oh, gosh, what the hell is Alao thinking? And look at this, Alao dreams. Inside out, landing on both Jocks, cover on Fringe for the titles, and no. We take another look at this, Paul. I mean, I don't even know what to call that, but Alao dreams pulling out all the stops to take out the Jocks.
Breaking out new, innovative offense. Again, I think that's the mentality when you're coming off those two big singles losses. You've got something to prove. And the Jocks are stacked up in the center of the ring, and the Dream's plotting something here.
Dreams lining up their opponents, but Jocks wisely gets out of the way, almost running into the official. And the Dreams obviously checking on the official, making sure he's okay. What the hell are the Jocks doing on the outside? Are they drinking? I mean, I guess we're starting the parties on CCAC a little early here at the warehouse. A little bit of booze for both the Jocks. Oh, and right to the face of our official. Well, that clearly wasn't meant to happen. No official now. Jocks are taking full advantage on the Dreams.
I guess no ref means no rules. And the Jocks would be able to put this one away if there was an official. There isn't one.
Yeah, no official inside cover. Count to 1,000,000. Alao dreams as he's knocked out cold. Our officials on the outside. I mean, Jocks are calling for a new ref. Can we maybe get a new ref out here? And is that Mickey Morris? Oh, well, don't even think about ringing the bell, Paul, because that is not an official whatsoever. That's Mickey.
I mean, we don't know that. I mean, he recently has been taking ring announcing classes. It's very possible he got his referee's license.
No, this does not count whatsoever. Mickey Morris, down goes Alao. Covered, this doesn't count. He's not an illegal official. Oh, and Sammy takes out Morris. I mean, you know just as well as I do, Paul, Mickey Morris is an active competitor, not a legal official here at 880 Wrestling, and Sammy knows it.
Come on, Austin, you never heard of a special guest referee?
There is no special guest referee in this match. Come on, Paul. Uh-oh, Jocks caught Sammy. Sammy hooks the ropes away. Wait a minute, Alao dreams, catches both Jocks. Psychedelic Dreams crowning moment. Big Jim Fridge is laid out, and Swayze gets caught in the middle. Sammy now crawling into the cover, and that's it. Dreams retained.
Here are your winners, and still 880 Wrestling Tag Team Champions, Psychedelic Dreams.
Sammy, Suntheimer, and Alao Dreams once again have a successful title defense here at Painted Black as they defeat the Department of Jocks. We take a look here at how this match ended.
And the tandem offense, despite the best efforts of the Jocks and Mickey Morris's attempt to count to 3, and still the 880 Tag Team Champions.
And as much shenanigans as the Department of Jocks like to pull, I actually want to give credit to them, Paul. Swayze and Big Jim Fridge, before Mickey Morris came out there, laid it all out there and put on an incredible classic with both Sammy and Alao. These four young men have a very bright future here at 880.
Well, Austin, this was surprisingly enjoyable to call this match with you here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and take my leave and allow Toddy Tondero, the voice of 880 Wrestling, back on headset. I'm going to leave this essay here. I think that you and Toddy should check it out. This won an award when I was in 5th grade. Toddy can explain it all to you. Just ask him about it. I'm out.
Okay, well, Paul is out, and I guess Toddy is in.
Folks, give it up one more time for your tag team champions, Psychedelic Dreams. This next match is a fatal 4-way match scheduled for one fall. And it is for the TNF Championship.
Great win by Psychedelic Dreams. Honored to be on the call with you. Pittsburgh's favorite Jagoff, Austin Carnes, alongside Toddy Tondera for more Painted Black 2.
What a hell of a tag team title match that was, Toddy, but it's glad to have you back here. But what the hell is this paper from Paul?
Introducing first, challenger number 1, fighting out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and representing Dynasty. This is the Culture King, Sway Archer.
Well, to answer your question, apparently the professional Paul Michaels wrote that for a DARE program that he had, I guess, in grade school. But be that as it may, a big 4-way dance for the TNF Championship on the line. Welcoming in from Hybrid Championship Wrestling, due to our partnership with them, Sway Archer has an opportunity tonight.
First time being on the call for Sway Archer, but it is not my first time being on the call for this competitor.
Challenger number 2, fighting out of Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 220 pounds of fried chicken and dumplings. Don't forget the sauce. This is the Fat Femme Asian sensation, Mateo Valentine.
Mateo Valentine, last Painted Black, went one-on-one with the trigger finger Nick's Wilde in what was not only one of my favorite matches of the year, but it was a contender for match of the year via the QWI. It is Mateo Valentine season at 880 Wrestling.
Mateo Valentine has had some recent action here in the warehouse against various opponents as well, but this might be his biggest opportunity yet here in this 4-way. It's always a great time when Mateo's in town.
Oh, of course, of course. Mateo's easy to love. It is. We talk about it being Mateo Valentine season. It's tax season 2.
Challenger number 3, fighting out of the Fine Ass District. Weight withheld for tax purposes. This is CPA.
Oh, CPA. Look at the mug of CPA. I mean, some hard nights here in Pittsburgh, but coming in a little bit rough, but still shaking hands.
I guess so, Toddy. Looks like he was hit by a damn bus.
I don't really know.
Still well dressed, though. Honestly, Paul Michaels should take notes.
You can write that down on his DARE Sanskrit there. So Mateo Valentine and CPA, longtime rivals of Marco Narciso. He's been in there with Marco Narciso quite a few times. But the catalyst to this one, the big question mark to this one, Marco is very familiar with CPA and Mateo Valentine, kind of an unknown entity in Sway Archer.
CPA, I think, just shook about everyone's hand here at the warehouse.
It's a little difficult getting into our ring, but CPA has figured it out.
Certainly a fan favorite here. Love CPA.
Yeah, regular at TTT, Brooklyn at Blitzkrieg Pro, and everywhere in between. And here comes the champion.
And there Marco Narciso.
Marco Narciso in tow with Honey Darling, the holder of the neon gold. And we know from misconnections last month that Marco is always looking for another partner. Well, he's got 3 tonight.
3 partners to tango with here for the Thursday Night Fights Championship. Oh, and Marco getting a head start. What? I guess we're starting early, Toddy.
Well, Sway attacks CPA on the outside. Marco attacking Mateo, and Sway and Marco. We said Sway was a bit of an unknown coming into this, but it looks like Marco and Sway in their early heavings here are working together.
Well, it's hard for Marco to make friends now ever since what happened to the Den of Desire originally at the shop, but I guess he has a temporary alliance, but so does Mateo.
I've danced quite a night to Bruce Springsteen with CPA, so I'm not surprised. He's juking and jiving, and there's that temporary alliance. I think CPA agrees with Mateo Valentine's shirt. Into the opposite corners. See if they can count better than the DOJ.
If they get past 3, they already beat him.
1, 2, 3.
Beat him.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Marco fights out.
Beat them by at least 5. But Marco throwing out CPA, which leaves Sway Archer and Mateo Valentine in the ring. Oh, knee shots. Sway Archer, I had the opportunity to call a few of his matches up in Hybrid Championship Wrestling. Oh. Makes a lot of professional wrestling gear and caused quite a commotion in the locker room. Cover here.
For the title.
Referee Tony Leo in there for this contest, but what a Painted Black 2 it's been so far.
Yeah, what an incredible match. Oh my God!
Honey, please.
We saw thumbtacks again earlier. We saw a lot of crazy matches. We saw DOJ almost pull a fast one.
We still got a goddamn cage.
Still got a cage. Oh gosh, grabbing each other's hairs.
Oh. Almost like a version of an axe kick. Oh! Something new we haven't seen.
But CPA breaks up this time. Oh. And again, Toddy, in these 4-way matches, I mean, you always have to have eyes in the back of your head because you never know who's going to break up the count or from watching on the outside. Right now, Marco has CPA by the tie.
Well, he did have CPA by the tie.
Uh-oh, that was a mistake, Marco. That was a big mistake.
It's tax season, baby!
Oh, yeah!
Big kangaroo shotgun drop kick, the best drop kick in the game.
There's one golden rule, and Marco broke it. Don't touch CPA's tie.
Oh, Sway Archer.
They're grabbing the ankle of CPA from the outside.
And don't forget, in a fatal 4-way contest like that, the champion doesn't have to be pinned.
I think Marco understands that, which is why he quickly tried to go for a cover to put this match away, but CPA survives.
It is 1 pinfall per finish. And what? Sway looks a little consumed, no? Whoa. Taking a knee? Oh! Well, out goes Mateo. But this alliance between Archer and Narciso looks to continue.
I guess Sway Archer sees something in our champion.
Of course, Narciso defeated Liberty L in our buy-in painted gold #1 contendership battle royal for the TNF champion. Bro Hemoth will face the winner of this contest on Thursday night, right here on Thursday Night Fights, 8 p.m. So I'm sure Bro Hemoth is glued to a monitor backstage.
With the way things are looking right now, we may be calling CPA the new TNF champion.
I'd love that.
I would too.
Oh! Side of his neck, bouncing off the ropes.
Oh, God.
Those big pump kicks. Oh, bit of a crossface. We're seeing a lot of new innovations for Narciso this evening, Austin.
And it feels like we've been seeing new innovations every week with Marco Narciso, but look at Mateo. Oh my gosh, hooking both legs.
Well, that's why they call him the Bridge Queen of the Steel City. And oh, big double stomp by Archer.
If it wasn't for Archer, we may be calling Mateo Valentine champion.
I mean, Sway Archer's first opportunity here. A lot of folks never had a shot at the TNF Championship. Sway Archer, due to the partnership with Hybrid Championship Wrestling, was inserted into this match, and I would be trying to make a pinfall if I were Archer. Oh, God, stiff.
There's a lot of the Hybrid Championship Wrestling family here tonight too, Toddy, so you know they're definitely watching this match. They would love to bring some gold back to Canada tonight.
Of course, that big Fire and Ice tournament that Austin will be a part of, FE Middle of Nowhere, I will be a part of, and our broadcast colleague, Eamon Payton, will be there as well. Oh, back elbow.
Look at Mateo go, now has Archer hooked. Oh, wow, what a super kick.
Yeah, his leg almost bent like an elbow joint. Big super kick. Talking too much. Running your gums is bad luck.
Oh, and Toddy, did you see what I saw? CPA jumping off the rope caused Marco to get caught.
Yeah, he got his goozled. Talk about bad luck.
Well, we take another look at this again. I would love this to be in slow-mo, Toddy. It would be great.
I'm sure there's an app that can do that.
I'll go back and watch the replay later.
All four competitors down, the neon gold on the line.
This is honestly evenly matched so far.
Yeah.
I couldn't see any of these four walking away with the title. Both back to their feet at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a winner in this one, especially if the champ doesn't need pinned. Oh boy, stiff shots. Kind of breaking down. Tony Leo staying the heck out of the way. Oh, there's a drop kick.
How about CPA? Oh!
Big knee strikes. You know, Dynasty trying to take over Ontario, Canada. I mean, we have a couple of their championships. Could you imagine if Hybrid Wrestling was holding up the TNF championship come Monday morning? Oh!
Gosh! Well, Marco has something to say about that as he drops Mateo. Now left all alone with CPA, who catches Marco.
Almost like a Carnes breaker by CPA.
Okay, CPA. Oh, and another shirt off, Toddy.
Wouldn't you believe that one?
He got a second tie, too.
Oh, wait a second, from behind.
And CPA catches Marco that time.
He'll hang out on the ropes until, cast the line. Comes Sway.
Sway may get one for himself now, too.
And as every independent contractor knows, that 1099 is deadly. The reversal of odds. Oh, big gate rights by Mateo.
We may have a new champ. Wait, Marco.
Wait, shoulders trapped under Sway. He's under Sway. Damn it. Damn it.
So
Here
close.
is your winner, and still TNF champion, Marco Narciso.
Another W in the win column for the TNF champion.
Was it controversial? Possibly, but Marco Narciso still slithers away with a victory. We see again on the replay, rolling in just at the right time and catches Mateo Valentine off guard.
All three of Marco's opponents this evening traveled a hell of a long way for their night to be ruined. Marco Narciso will walk into Thursday night fights against Brohemoth as champion. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick intermission. Please don't change your dial. The first cage match in 880 wrestling history is after our short break. The trigger finger Nick's Wilde puts the 880 championship on the line against Brandon St. James.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
For the past 3 years, I have cut my teeth for 880 Wrestling, and through the good and the bad, whether they love me or they hate me, no one has been able to dictate the rise of Nick's Wilde other than Nick's Wilde.
For the past year, Nick's Wilde, you've put yourself inside of a cage that we call the Dead Hand Society, and they have been here to serve you every step of the way. But this cage does not serve you. It serves a person like me with nothing to lose. A person who isn't afraid of getting hurt, who isn't afraid of their flesh tearing.
So Brandon St. James, you want to put me in a cage. You want to have the biggest match in 880 wrestling history. Then on March 20th, inside of this steel cage, that's just fine with me. I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to figure it out.
I will do whatever it takes to win the 880 championship inside of this steel fucking cage.
April Fools! Michael Sorg's a funny guy! Ha ha! Sorg, I asked you. I picked up the phone and I called you. And I asked for the best tag team. The second best tag team. Because we're the best tag team to wrestle at your little show. And you do this to us? You do this to me? You do this to me? You do this to Katie? You give us the Bakery Boys? The Bakery Boys, that's who we're wrestling. They have a hat, they have a apron, a rolling pin, probably some eggs. Sorg! Why? I don't even know. You're sitting behind your little computer.
Bakery Boys!
Oh, Bakery Boys! Sorg, they're not going to cry over spilled milk. Sorg, they're not going to cry over spilled milk anymore because they are going to be left. Bakery Boys, Bake and Ree will be left on the cutting room floor April 1st, Wednesday in Allentown. I'm going to commit a murder.
I ain't generally got anything against produce. You need it for many baked goods. Zucchini bread? Yes. Carrot cake? Yes. Raspberry filled tarts? Oh, yes. Oh, but what I do got a problem with is those remarks that Katie and Derek from the produce section made about the bakery boys. Oh, it got me more heated than there's a fine oven behind me, but I'm not going to be baking a cake. Oh no, we're rolling in on April 1st to break the produce section.
All right, roll for damage.
Let's see here. That's going to be a, 30-20.
Nice. What's the finish?
Puts him in.
There we go.
All right, sweet.
Good kill.
I'll take my sword and I'll just come up behind him and slice his neck.
Much like that match.
Yeah, like that match. Didn't you guys have that match? Remember at Sorg's 20th anniversary show?
God, I can't believe I had to team with Tyler.
What? I can't believe you didn't dress up like you all said you were gonna do.
Hey, so we might dress up.
Well, there was no might. You were supposed to. And I was the only one out there in costume.
You were the only one who had cosplay materials.
And then you stabbed me.
And I think he slit my throat.
Yeah, I did.
You guys should...
Guys.
You
Like, we're trying to play a game here. Like,
Give us that. We got to handle this.
Let's handle this now.
You said, what's the finish adjusted? I thought it was over.
Yeah, but there's more. You know what? You guys are being real smart asses. You know, I'm still the DM of Top Rope Tabletop.
Okay, but we're not talking about Top Rope Tabletop.
You know what? You think I can't do what I want to do outside of Top Rope Tabletop?
Oh, yes.
I'm sick and tired of this. 5-way. Oh, you know what? April 1st. I'm going to talk to Sorg. 5-way. Fatal 5-way. All 5 of you in a match. April 1st.
No. I'm way too old for this. I'm not involved in this.
Fine. 4-way. You guys, 4-way. I'm still the DM.
You gotta figure it out.
I'm still the DM.
All right.
And you know what? I'll call the match too. How do you like that, huh? I'll call the match. I'll show up.
What are you
That way I'll make sure whoever wins, there'll be a finish.
That's a good idea. I'll just take
Yeah, you're probably going to cancel the last minute.
When have I ever done that?
Okay.
He seems real upset.
I mean,
So
I
what
think
was-
this is rather nice.
What was your next turn gonna be? Because I think you were up next.
What?
Right?
I had a booming blade, obviously.
I'm Eamon.
I'm Merlin.
And we're a gay.
And his NB.
Are you a reality television connoisseur?
Do you like it discussed from an LGBTQ lens?
If so, A Gay and His NB is the podcast for you.
Hear us break down all your favorite guilty pleasure reality shows from Bravo, Drag Race, and just about everything in between.
Listen to A Gay and His NB on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
How's it going? Good. So what are you doing out here? I'm just telling playing some Pokemon, bro. Okay.
Yeah. Shotgun! This is Pittsburgh. We don't move parking chairs. You put the chair in the spot you're gonna park, and that's where I fucking park.
Oh, nah, do you button. Get the hell back here.
Just know I got the jump now, never gave a fuck how. You think I got a position, I'm also up clown. Take timing is crucial. I've been playing just to get.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
past 3 years, I have cut my teeth for 880 Wrestling, and through the good and the bad, whether they love me or they hate me, no one has been able to dictate the rise of Nick's Wilde other than Nick's Wilde.
For the past year, Nick's Wilde, you've put yourself inside of a cage that we call the Dead Hand Society, and they have been here to serve you every step of the way. But this cage does not serve you. It serves a person like me with nothing to lose. A person who isn't afraid of getting hurt, who isn't afraid of their flesh tearing.
So Brandon St. James, you want to put me in a cage. You want to have the biggest match in 880 wrestling history. Then on March 20th, inside of this steel cage, that's just fine with me. I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to figure it out.
I will do whatever it takes to win the 880 championship inside of this steel fucking cage.
April Fools! Michael Sorg's a funny guy! Ha ha! Sorg, I asked you. I picked up the phone and I called you. And I asked for the best tag team. The second best tag team. Because we're the best tag team to wrestle at your little show. And you do this to us? You do this to me? You do this to me? You do this to Katie? You give us the Bakery Boys? The Bakery Boys, that's who we're wrestling. They have a hat, they have a apron, a rolling pin, probably some eggs. Sorg! Why? I don't even know. You're sitting behind your little computer.
Bakery Boys.
Oh, Bakery Boys! Sorg, they're not going to cry over spilled milk. Sorg, they're not going to cry over spilled milk anymore because they are going to be left. Bakery Boys, Bakery Boys, Bake and Ree will be left on the cutting room floor April 1st, Wednesday, in Allentown. I'm going to commit a murder.
Now, I ain't generally got anything against produce. You need it for many baked goods. Zucchini bread? Yes. Carrot cake? Yes. Raspberry filled tarts? Oh, yes. Oh, but what I do got a problem with is those remarks that Katie and Derek from the produce section made about the Bakery Boys. Oh, it got me more heated than there's a fine oven behind me, but I'm not going to be baking a cake. Oh no, we're rolling in on April 1st to break the produce section.
What excuses do you make? Happiness is hard to find. I didn't catch a break. Maybe I am dying inside. February, it's
I have one question. Are you ready to make history? Well, because this is your main event of the evening. And for the first time in 880 Wrestling, it is inside of a steel cage. The only way to win this contest is by pinfall, submission, or escape, either over the top or through the door. It is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the 880 Wrestling Championship.
Welcome back. Steel cage match. It is no hyperbole in saying that this is the biggest match in 880 wrestling history. The captain of the Steel City Killers, his never say die attitude, the gutter phenomenon, Brandon St. James, challenges the leader of the Dead Hand Society, the Trigger Finger, who promised scorched earth over 880 Wrestling, Nick's Wilde. To my right, Pittsburgh's favorite jagoff, Austin Carnes. I'm Toddy Tondera, and I'll tell you what, I can see your goosebumps.
I have the goosebumps forming on my arms, Toddy. Brandon St. James enters inside of a steel cage where he looks to finally achieve destiny and end the Black Sheep's title reign and become your 880 champion.
And let us not forget the Dead Hand Society not only made an attempt at Brandon St. James's career, but his life.
St. James is locked in, Toddy. He is locked in.
What a moment for 880 Wrestling. What a moment for Pittsburgh wrestling history. To the ring by the Viking Rover, Gunnar Bergman. The trigger finger, the 880 champion, Nix Wilde. And if Nix Wilde is able to defeat Brandon St. James inside that steel cage, when Thursday hits, Nix Wilde's plan, the vision of the Dead Hand Society, is mission complete. If by Thursday Nix Wilde carries that championship into Thursday Night Fights, they will be the longest reigning champion of 880 wrestling in the history of this company.
244 days to be exact, Toddy. That is the length of the championship reign of the Black Sheep, Nix Wilde. And they are not looking to give up that title anytime soon. They want to beat the current record, which is 247 days, which is held by amateur wrestler Reese Hayes. This is going to be one hell of a battle.
Let's hand it over to Eamon Payton for the championship introductions.
Your referee for this contest, Scotty Davidson. Introducing first, to my right, the challenger. Fighting out of New Jersey by way of the south side of Pittsburgh. He weighs in tonight at 185 pounds. This is the Gutter Phenomenon, Satan's favorite saint, Brandon St. James! And their opponent, to my left, weighing in tonight at 210 pounds. For 244 days, they have been your current reigning and defending 880 Wrestling Champion. This is the trigger finger of the Dead Hand Society, the Black Sheep, Nix Wilde!
In Austin, we both have all the respect in the world for Brandon St. James, but we know that Brandon St. James is not only a gutter phenomenon, but he's an absolute bona fide lunatic. And the champion is going to be locked in there with BSJ.
This match speaks volumes, Toddy. This is exactly what Brandon St. James wanted. It's about to happen. It's about to go down here at the warehouse.
And the door is locked shut. It's almost a lull over this audience. Everybody is on edge.
Yeah, you can see our crowd has even formed a little closer to the steel cage. They want all eyes on history here at the warehouse. First ever.
And when this match is made, regardless of how we feel about Nick's Wilde, there is no two savages that I'd rather see locked inside the cage. And right now, Nick's Wilde trying to take the easy way out.
Raymond told us how you can win this match, and one of the ways is escaping the cage, and Nick's is looking to do just that.
I mean, a smart strategy, but I'm sure that same strategy Brandon St. James planned for. Nick's Wilde has been dodging Brandon St. James since Brandon St. James defeated Nick's Wilde. Nick's Wilde sent Gunnar Bergman, has sent Saturn Price to end the life of Brandon St. James.
Nick's Wilde views Brandon St. James more as a roadblock rather than an obstacle. They just want to get out of this match. They want nothing to do with Brandon. St. James, on the other hand, he wants to create violence. Nick's going to feel that one tomorrow.
And though the attempt... I think the audience has spoken.
Nick's going to have a hell of a lot harder time getting out of the cage if Brandon kicks them in the back again.
Oh, even more hollower than the first. Now we know that the Dead Hand Society was attempting to claim the life of BSJ, but on the opposing side, you can't kill what's already dead. The leader of the Dead Hand Society, the champ, is in there too.
These two were once good friends, now bitter rivals. And Brandon St. James looking to drive Nick's Wilde's head into the possible side of the steel cage. Oh, but here's Nick's. St. James blocks.
Shots here. Oh, poke of the eyes.
Nick's getting frustrated.
Now, Austin, when we welcomed you to 880 Wrestling, you don't really know in 880 Wrestling that doesn't have Nick's Wilde as champion. Big sling blade there.
Not at all. My first championship match I called was actually last summer when Nick's Wilde defeated Gianni Michael Enrico to become the 880 champion. Since then, Nick's has passed Gianni's reign and then some more. And we're only days away from Nick's holding the all-time record. I think you said it best, Toddy. This Thursday, Nick's will do that. They have to win this match first. Oh! Like a pinball machine.
In a lot of ways, Brandon St. James has felt locked inside of a steel cage his whole life. He's gritty. He's dirty. That's why they call him the gutter phenomenon. He's right at home in the solid steel. Let's not forget, he's the Canadian Deathmatch no-ring champion. He shed a lot of blood.
Big clothesline, and I was going to say it too, Toddy. Brandon St. James has won gold outside of the country. He's won gold across the country. He's been in similar predicaments before. The steel cage is just a step up from that.
But when you had the opportunity to sit down this past Thursday with BSJ and with Nick's Wilde brought that up. Oh, wait a second.
Is that Gunnar blocking?
Oh!
Casey! Give me that fucking skate! Let's fucking go!
Wait a second here. Brandon St. James has a chance to get out of the cage, but calls his brethren in the fourth line.
My guy Casey Warr is out here, just gave a skate to Brandon.
Well, high atop the Metropolitan Division of Pittsburgh is the fourth line with that big bad old ice skate. Oh!
Right across the skull of Nick's Wilde.
Blade to the face from that ice skate.
Speaking of last summer, Toddy, this is going to be flashbacks to the last time Brandon St. James had a ice skate in his hand.
You said it best, Austin. The bloodshed from Brandon St. James and the forced bloodshed that BSJ has inflicted on his opponents. It's another walk in the park for Brandon St. James.
Now Brandon grabs the champion by their hair.
Oh my goodness.
skate is digging deep into the forehead of Nick Wilde, and blood is trickling down their forehead.
When you spoke to Brandon St. James and Nick Wilde this past Thursday, Nick Wilde brought up the championships that Brandon has, but Nick Wilde knows that this match, this championship, means so much more in all of those.
When I sat in the ring with these two, Toddy, I felt the vibe immediately. I knew there was going to be bloodshed, and we are seeing just that. Brandon's not done, though. Oh, my gosh.
With a forehead full of skate and a face full of blood. This audience is right. You sick fuck. Oh, my God. You sick fuck. You sick fuck. Look at the face of the 880 champion right now, Austin.
Nick Wilde is in bad ways right now when Brandon St. James has all smiles on his face. Has the champ right where he wants him.
Suplex.
Brandon calling for, I guess, the door to be open. That's the only way, one way you can escape and win, but Gunner again blocks. We saw this earlier in the match.
That damn Viking Rover blocking BSJ's exit.
Oh my gosh, a cage right to the side of the head of Gunner.
Get the table!
Table time! Casey Warr is the supplier tonight, Toddy. First a skate, now a table.
Casey Warr victorious earlier this evening, defending the Hardcore Championship against Saturn Price, is there for his best friend.
And you know Casey just as well as I do, and you do, Toddy, wants Brandon to walk away with the championship. There's always that numbers advantage from Dead Hand. We talked about it this past Thursday. Brandon knew that too, evening out the odds just a little bit.
And let us not forget, Casey Warr has been in battles with Nick Wilde over the 880 championship as well.
Bouncing the damn skull of Nick Wilde off the table. Oh, wait a minute. Did you see that chain?
Where?
Gunnar Bergman, I think, just slid a chain into Nick Wilde.
Oh, no! You're right, Austin! The damn Viking Rover found a crack in the cage, slid in that chain, that same chain, busted open the face of Frank DeVille and amateur wrestler Reese Hayes, and it collides into the face of BSJ.
It was only a matter of time before Gunnar Bergman really got involved in this match, and this time giving a chain to Nick's. And Brandon is laid out right now. He has not moved.
Nick's looking like a pig in shit right now, and oh my God.
Well, we saw the bloodshed on Nick Wilde. Now we're seeing it on the challenger's face too.
BSJ busted open.
Come on, BSJ!
Oh!
Right in that cage.
Well, if it wasn't for Gunnar Bergman, just a limp body. Jackknife cover, two count. Not only is this the biggest night in 880 wrestling, wait a second here, wait.
Yeah, Nick's was looking to escape the retain, but Brandon quickly getting up in time.
Not only is this the biggest night in 880 wrestling history, the biggest match in 880 wrestling history. It will be mission accomplished for the DHS, and as the blood just streaming down the face of BSJ like Niagara Falls.
We saw Nick Wilde do that exact same thing to Brandon last time they were in the ring. Last time they shed blood with one another, and now Brandon just being scraped across that cage.
And right outside that cage, the friends and family of Brandon St. James.
Yeah, they have the front row seat to watch Brandon just bleed and get smushed up against the cage.
that Nick's Wilde's reign as 880 champion may come to an end if these forearm strikes meet their mark. But Nick's Wilde just drinking blood a la Casey Warr. Oh, wait a minute! Limp body ragdoll into the steel cage.
Brandon St. James ricochets off the side of that cage. I mean, this whole ring is pretty much a weapon in this match.
Obviously, these two came up at 880 Wrestling together, started their paths in professional wrestling together, and well, tonight at Painted Black 2, it all comes down to this. Well, let's not forget Painted Black, named after the current 880 champion.
Covered now by Nix.
BSJ still alive.
What a show it has been so far. We all had the steel cage penciled in on our runner, and it is living up to the expectations right now. But Nick's Wilde, look at the escape toddy.
Oh, BSJ's got them by the ankle.
The door's open, and Gunner's trying to help out Nix, grabbing the hand of the champ, but Brandon pulls him away. Pulling them back in the cage, and now forearm after forearm.
At some point, blood loss has to be in consideration.
Uh-oh, it is time. No! Looking for a crust cutter, but Nick's Wilde did their homework.
Well, this is not the first time these two have went one-on-one.
There's the replay again. Big forearm to the back of the neck of St. James.
You know, these two even entered Enjoy Wrestling together. They may be from opposite sides of the train tracks, but in their cold blood, these two, they're not so different.
Yeah, now Nick's has that chain that the damn Viking gave them earlier. And oh gosh.
No! And what that forces, that forces the blood to spew out of the forehead of BSJ even sooner. His face is turning red, and that's not only just from the blood, it's from the lack of oxygen. Oh, God.
Oh, no, using those ropes, just squeezing the life out of St. James. And as they squeeze, more blood is coming out, too.
This looks like an avant-garde art film. Oh! Ripping the chains out of the hands of the trigger finger.
I don't know if that was just wherewithal or last-second adrenaline that kicked in for St. James. But whatever it is, it worked.
We talk about the original Steel City Killers. Nick's Wilde, current champion. Gianni Michael Enrico, former champion. Amateur wrestler Reese Hayes, former champion. BSJ has never held that 880 title.
Yeah, Nick's Wilde feels like they have gone through the entire roster. Brandon St. James is the one that just keeps on coming back. And now look at this position they're both in. Both on the top rope climbing the cage.
Yeah, on the catwalk, so to speak, of the warehouse precariously. That's a long way down.
Maybe looking for a Russian leg sweep?
Nick's grabbing onto that cage. Oh. Double doinked on the top rope.
Those are some bad apples.
My goodness. The struggle of both of these individuals.
And we take another look at what just happened. Both of them getting caught on the top rope. Definitely knocking the wind out of both of them.
forearm shivers. Never had a 880 championship match end in a TKO before. Could Paint It Black 2 be that night?
Very well could, but look at Nick's Wilde right to the eye of St. James. Perfectly legal in this match. Well, duck it under. St. James has life.
Discus forearm.
Come on, BSJ.
For a half and half, another forearm shiver. Oh, planted on the top of their head.
Champ is down.
Oh, wrapping that chain around the fist. Beat Frank DeVille with it. He's beat Reese Hayes with it. Could he become a new champ with it?
Well, the chain that was slid in by Gunnar Bergman earlier on, not exactly paying off. Nick's Wilde is down, and St. James is right by the door, Toddy. We might have a new champ right here if St. James leaves the cage. No.
I'm locking this bitch in the cage.
Of course, the 880 championship being on the line, but that isn't even the most important thing. Don't forget, Austin, the Dead Hand Society, led by the cult leader of Nick's Wilde, promised scorched earth over 880 wrestling. This is more than a championship belt can contain. The BSJs better turn around.
The BSJ is locking the cage door, wants to keep Nick's Wilde trapped inside, but Nick's, they are starting to climb. Turn around, Brandon.
Oh, Brandon noticed it just in the nick of time. Oh my goodness, it was almost too late.
Brandon St. James was locking that door. Nick's Wilde nearly weaseled out, but now both back in the same position as before.
It's a long wait down.
Russian leg sweep from the top.
Covered by the challenger. 2 and oh! So close. Boy, oh boy, do we have a barn burner here. Just a year ago, Nick's Wilde put on one of the best matches of the year at Painted Black against Mateo Valentine. And we have another classic going on right now.
This match is a certified banger, but Brandon St. James now may have his eyes set on escaping, but Nick's Wilde from behind.
Surprise Nick's Wilde. Climb back up there. Oh! Like a version of a belly to belly?
I guess so. Cover. We may have a champ retain. Ooh.
The exhaustion at this point in the matchup. The blood loss in this point of the matchup. I don't think Brandon would have it any other way.
Not at all. A match made for these two.
Fuck you, Nick! Fuck you, Nick!
I'm just letting them know how they feel. Uh-oh.
Fireman's carry position. What?
Roll up.
Small package. 2. Oh.
So close.
Oh, kick low. Looking for that shepherd's hook.
These two know each other so well. Looking for the backslide.
1, 2. Oh, 2 count. Oh, fastball.
Right down the middle.
Could be looking for the 6, 6, 6, 9. He hits it. He hits it.
Go for the cover, Brandon. Oh, St. James wants to inflict more punishment, more damage on the champion.
And this one is for Saturn Price.
Right on their head, cover.
1, 2, and 3. No! This one is going to continue. The blood just oozing, pouring out of the forehead of the challenger.
There is still so much more left in the tank for both Brandon St. James and Nick Wilde. These two are currently going to war. And you can only imagine what devilish thoughts are going through the head of Satan's favorite saints as they look to climb the top rope.
I'm sure he has the gumption, but does he have the strength left in this matchup?
St. James is high, using the cage for support.
Stage dive swanton!
But how much of it did it take out of St. James?
Didn't get all of that one. Up on the shoulders. Wild driver!
But Nick's not done too, knowing they have to do more. Oh gosh.
And there's that package pile driver on the injured neck of BSJ. 1, 2, and 3. No!
Still alive! Do you feel it, Toddy?
And if we didn't believe it before, BSJ is powered by Satan. That proves it.
Oh. You hear Nick starting to get annoyed now, Toddy. They're saying stay down, but I don't think Brandon's going to do that.
And every shot connection is for one of the Steel City Killers. For one of our folks in our locker rooms. For our production crews. For our referees. For everybody that's BSJ's family.
What a classic we have here at the warehouse. 880 championship, first ever steel cage match in this company's history. Toddy, I'm honored to be with you. This is incredible. Where the hell is St. James going now?
Well, it's looking like BSJ is attempting to escape that cage.
From up there.
Oh! He's got 1 foot over. Oh, come on.
Say what you want, but it's perfectly legal in this match, and Nick knows it.
Usually we would condemn a practice like that, but I mean, sheesh.
Oh no, oh no. From up there, Toddy?
Superplex!
That's it. That's it.
Cover. 1, 2, and 3. No! 2! Says Lefty.
Once again, proven wrong. St. James again kicking out as we take another look at the superplex. St. James fell from all the way from the top of the cage down to the canvas, and Nick Wilde is pissed.
And there is that cage, there is that table that Casey Warr introduced before.
As if this match couldn't get more destructive, the table now introduced.
Couldn't agree more, buddy.
Oh, look at Nick Wilde just mocking St. James now.
I mean, St. James has gone ragdoll. Now, usually I would say, you know, Casey jumping in there, MV Young jumping in there. But we know that Brandon St. James, he would not have it any other way. Table set up. Nick Wilde looking for a wild driver. Wait. There's breath in the lungs of St. James.
Uh-oh. Oh, God.
Hurricane Rana.
Catching Nick Wilde off guard. St. James. Right off the shoulders. Now ducking under Nick Wilde. Cross cutter. in the cage.
Oh
no.
Teetering back on to that table.
The crust cutter was so impactful, it led Nick Wilde to falling on that table, and where the hell is St. James going now?
The gutter phenomenon climbing to the top of the steel structure.
St. James is on top of that damn cage, Toddy.
Oh my God.
I'm shocked St. James can even stand up there. Oh no!
Stage dive elbow!
Through the damn table!
My God!
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Covered by the challenger! 2! That's it! That's fucking it! The party crasher! The gutter phenomenon wins the 880 championship!
What a sight! Toddy Brandon has been knocked off the mountain so many times. Tonight he's jumped off that mountain and achieved destiny. He's your new 880 champion, damn it!
And there is not a better representative of 880 wrestling than BSJ. The never say die attitude, the gritty, the toughness. A prime example why everybody from coast to coast, from country to country, should be very fucking afraid.
I mean, we take another look at this amazing replay by Sidekick Media Services. St. James from off the top of the damn cage, dropping an elbow through a table, and now he is your new 880 champion. Fuck yeah.
Draped in gold. Best friends in and out of the ring. Casey Warr, the hardcore champion. Brandon St. James, the 880 champion. And what a night Painted Black 2 has been.
Well fucking deserved. Love to see it.
From Pittsburgh's favorite jagoff, Austin Carnes, any final thoughts on this new era of 880 wrestling?
The new era has dawned upon us, Toddy. Brandon St. James has won the 880 championship, and he deserves it.
I am Toddy Tondera.
Speak!